Hey guys, and welcome to a new news episode. First, I want to show that the transfer from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home is now available for all trainers. So that will also mean that everybody is able to get a Meltan box, and we're going to talk more about that later. Then I want to do a quick look back at the Electabuzz Community Day. We can see what was happening there. One reason that I want to do this look back is because most likely for the Magmar Community Day, the same kind of system will be applied. So it will be a similar experience, right? So what we can see here is there was 1/4 egg hatch distance. And when it comes to the eggs, then almost all of the eggs were hatching in Elekid. I would say around 90%. The other 10% were either a 2 kilometer egg giving a different Pokemon, or it was a completely different egg, like a 10 or 5 kilometer egg. But the high amount of Elekid were coming from the eggs. So it will give you a great chance to get the shiny, and most likely that will be the same for Magby next week. We know the flamethrower is a special move. There were some boxes, a special ticket that you could get, Sinnoh Stones, and the pictures to get 5 extra encounters. Okay, so this is what the research looked like for the $1 ticket. Most likely next week is going to be the same. But we can see that it has been the same every community day. So you can get the Electabuzz encounters, you can get some Stardust, the Puffin, Incense, Rocket Radar, and you could also get one Sinnoh Stone, which is nice. And yeah, it's kind of the same as all the tickets in the past have given as well. This is what the Today section looked like during the community day. In the Today section there was timed research that you could perform to get 4 additional Sinnoh Stones. And as you all know, we need the Sinnoh Stones to get the Electivire. So for next week, we will also need the Sinnoh Stones because you will need it to evolve Magmar into Magmortar. So yeah, you can get 4 Sinnoh Stones from the timed research, 1 from the special research, and if you need more, then you will have to do battles against team leaders or against friends outside of the Go Battle League in a normal PvP. Okay, we could also get 30 Ultra Balls, most likely next week as well. It's totally free, you just have to pick them up in the shop. Then we're going to get into an interesting Reddit post here by Krabo Minibble. And it's talking about the Electabuzz catch rate. So let's read the title here. Niantic did not increase Electabuzz catch rate. Circle still shows a boost because the Game Master did however update. For those wondering why this shiny form CP Electabuzz is breaking out of my Ultra Ball, it's because Niantic messed up once again by updating the catch rate in the Game Master to 40% base, but failing to update its server side, resulting in showing green circles when catching Electabuzz, but it's still the measly 20% base catch rate. So that means that Niantic wanted to boost the chance of catching Electabuzz from 20% to 40%, and it did look as if they in fact did that, because if you were going to throw a Pokeball and you see the circle, then it would display a very green circle, displaying like it's going to be very easy to catch the Pokemon. But basically that was basically the circle was not displaying the actual chance of catching it. So the actual chance was failed to update to the server side. So the actual chance was 20%. The normal chance to catch Electabuzz. So normally during community days, Niantic would boost the chance for tough Pokemon. They wanted to do that here as well, but they failed to make the update server side. They only made the change to the circle, which was false, making it even more confusing. So there was another post about it here. There was a lot of confusion in the comment section as well. Some people were saying that they were doing fine during the community day. Other people were stating that they had a lot of problem. There were even people stating that the first half they were doing well, and then suddenly it became tougher to catch the Pokemon. But there is no verification on whether Niantic pushed the update to the server side at some point. I cannot find any confirmation to that, because it's possible that at the start they failed to make the update server side and then later on they did still do it. But either way, we know that there was a problem, that the catch rate should have been improved, but it wasn't, or only later. And because of that, it was tough to catch the Electabuzz during the community day. So hopefully next week during Magmar they will actually make the correct update, so that it will be easier to catch the Magmars. Let's see, what else do we have? The mystery box, somebody decided to activate a mystery box during the community day. So we know that during the community day, the incense is going to last 3 hours, right? And this person is basically thinking like, okay, a Meltan box is kind of like an incense. Will it also last 3 hours? The answer was no. It will only last 1 hour. Furthermore, during Community Day, the chance of getting Pokemon from the incense was increased. So at the moment, the normal incense spawns are 1 per 90 seconds, right? And it used to be 1 per 45 seconds during the COVID situation boost. Boost to the spawns, I mean. But now, during the Community Day, they've temporarily activated that boost again to 1 in 45 seconds. So probably for the next Community Day for Magmar, again the instance will be extra effective with 1 spawn per 45 seconds, lasting for 3 hours. But for the mystery box, it was 1 hour and also 1 spawn per 90 seconds. So no boost there during the Community Day. Okay, then from PvP Poke, he's talking about the Catch Cup. Now remember that at the moment the Little Cup is still going on, although it's ending very soon and then changing into the Kanto Cup. But then after the Kanto Cup, 1 week later, the Catch Cup is going to start. And only Pokemon that you have caught since the start of the Little Cup, since the start of this season, are going to be eligible for this cup, right? So what are you going to use? Well, PvP Poke is giving us an idea of what kind of Pokemon we can obtain at the moment that we could use in this Catch Cup, that we could make a team of. So you can see that from the field research, at the moment it's easy to get Clefairies and Jigglypuff. So you can decide to evolve those and use a Clefable or Wigglytuff in the Catch Cup, right? So it's the same idea for the rest of these Pokemon displayed. Here there are some Pokemon that you can get from Team Rocket at the moment. Skarmory is definitely not one of the easiest encounters to get from Team Rocket. It's quite rare. But if you do find one, you might want to hold on to it, because Skarmory is going to be great for the Catch Cup, which, as you all know, is going to be in the Great League. Here we have some Pokemon you can get from eggs. Now Umbreon is a tough one because you want Last Resort on it to be extra competitive, but at the moment it is not possible to get Last Resort unless you Elite TM it. And I don't think that would be worth it unless you maybe have a rank 1. But then I would still wait till December to evolve it during that moment. I wouldn't, for 1 week of this cup, use an Elite TM, which is so valuable. And from the Go Battle League there are also a couple of Pokemon that you can get. So based on this infographic you can decide what kind of team you might want to build for the Catch Cup. And you can also prepare by saving some of those Pokemon up that you catch at the moment. Okay, from the League Duck then. A Spotlight Hour is set for tomorrow. It's going to be Kanto Meowth, only Kanto Meowth, with double catch candy. So going back to the Meltan box, so for all of the people who got their first Meltan box now by transferring a Pokemon to home, you could decide to make the most of your Meltan box by activating it during this Spotlight Hour, so you can get double candy on the Meltan. Furthermore, next week is going to be a different Spotlight Hour with double transfer candy, so catch them during this Spotlight Hour, but transfer them during the next one for the maximum amount of candies. Then there's one more thing that I would have to note, and that it is that Shiny Meltan has been announced to come soon, but we don't have a specific date yet. So we would assume that Niantic is going to announce the event, a couple of days before it starts, so we have time to prepare, right? That would make the most sense. Like they announce it, that's going to start in 1 week, so we all have the time enough to go for the cooldown, so we can get a new Meltan box. But this is Niantic, and it is still possible that they announce the event 1 day prior, which could mean that you lose 2 days by activating it now, and you might get 1 box less compared to others during its shiny possibility. So that is something to take into consideration. You will have to make up your own mind. Next, there is a verification here that Gible from 3 Exantros in a row quest. Okay, so what is happening here? Let's read the post here from HQ&A. This took some time to figure out, but the Sylph Research Group can also verify that players that are part of the testing phase for the XP, get Gible instead of Larvitar for this quest. I've added it to the mega thread, and we can see here the mega thread that we have gone through before for the change in the XP numbers that some trainers have going on. Well, now it also shows that the field research land 3 Exantros in a row will reward a Gible instead of a Larvitar for the people who have this testing phase going on. Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see if this changes to XP are going to be available for all trainers. then will everybody get a Gible instead of a Larvitar from this quest? This is something that we need to keep an eye on, because Gible is definitely an interesting encounter. Although I assume that many people are going to complain that it's way too tough to get the 3 excellent throws in. Then GRE47, and he is going to talk about the Kanto Cup, which is starting today. So let's see, here are some Pokemon that are cheap to get, although you do want to get the community movesets on these starter Pokemon. We have Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise, then we have Raichu and Alolan Raichu, because Alolan Pokemon and Galar Pokemon are allowed in the Kanto Cup, as long as they are the Alolan or Galarian forms of Kanto Pokemon. So here we can see that Raichu is a Kanto Pokemon, so the Alolan Raichu is also going to be eligible. Then we have Beedrill, Pidgeot, Alolan Raticate, Wigglytuff, and Golbat. Then we have Alolan Graveler or Golem and Gyarados. So you could decide to make a team consisting of these Pokemon, because these are the cheapest versions to make yourself still compatible in this cup. Then we are going to into some more expensive Pokemon with Alolan Sandslash, Ninetales, some Razor Leaf Pokemon like Vileplume or Gloom or Victory Bell, Venomoth, Machamp, Primeape, Poliwrath. Hypno is going to be very important in this league. Then we have Tentacruel, Rapidash, Galarian Rapidash, Magneton, Dialga, Muk, so Alolan Muk, another Alolan Pokemon that is going to be allowed, and it's a very strong Pokemon too. We have Gengar, Haunter, Alolan Marowak, Seaking. So you can already see that despite it's only available to Kanto Pokemon, there are still a lot of Pokemon that are going to be competitive. We have Lapras, Omastar, Snorlax, Dragonair, Dragonite as well, and even some legendaries with Articuno, Zapdos and Moltres, and you could even decide to try Shadow Mewtwo. So plenty of Pokemon that can be used in this cup. If you want to look at the information more thoroughly, then you can go to this post yourself. There is another post here from Go Battle Log, also about the Kanto Cup here, and he is going through the numbers. We can see some of the most important Pokemon in this cup are going to be Hypno, Alolan Muk, Wigglytuff, Alolan Marowak, Haunter, Alolan Raichu, Dragonair, Mew, Dialga, Lapras. Then we can see from every kind of Pokemon the matchups. This information is based from the PvPoke site. We can see that Hypno is going to do well against things like Shadow Machamp, Beedrill, Haunter, Blastoise, and it will lose against things like Alolan Marowak, Alolan Muk, Hypno, Wigglytuff, for example. And there's a lot of information to be found here, so you can really prepare for this cup if you want. I'm just scrolling through it. And then I'm going to go to the next subject. So there's also going to be a new raid boss starting later today. Cobalion and Terrakion and Virizion will be replacing Lugia in the legendary raids. So looking at Virizion first here, all three of them can be shiny, by the way. This Pokemon is going to be double weak to flying. So your best counters against it are going to be flying type Pokemon. Now with that Mega Pidgeot, we have a new strongest counter against it. And other than that, we have Moltres, Honchkrow, Rayquaza, Staraptor and Tornadus still doing well. And here we can see some of the other weaknesses if you don't have strong flying types. Then, looking at Terrakion, we can see that it's weak to so many different types. And Mewtwo is going to be strongest with Psychic and Psystrike. But now Mega Blastoise is in second place. And we have Metagross, Latios, Jirachi and Conkeldurr as some potential strong counters. But for example, other fighting types like Machamp and will also do very well. And here we have Cobalion, and we can see it's only weak to fighting, fire and ground. So this seems to be the toughest one from the three to defeat. Now Mega Charizard X and Y are going to be the strongest counter, with Reshiram in second place. Then we get Lucario, Conkeldurr, Chandelure, Domination as some optional strong Pokemon. So as always, when you are battling against these Pokemon, and you can see that they are weak to many types, for example like Terrakion here, You could also make your team depending on the weather. Like if it's going to be cloudy weather, then all of the fighting types will get a big boost. So you might want to lead out with Conkeldurr and Machamps instead of Mewtwo in cloudy weather. Here's another raid counter if you prefer this infographic from Azure Zoller's team. This infographic is, and you can even decide to zoom in. As you can see here, you can see the 100 CPs, availability, battle rankings, Go Bit League rating, the fast moves, charge moves, a lot of information going on here. So you can decide to look at that infographic as well. And that's basically everything I want to share for this episode. So yeah, when more information comes out, we'll make a new episode, and we'll see you then.